What's up, everyone? It's your host, Ghost, come to you live with another wonderful video. How's everyone doing today? Sorry. Sorry for being late. The video, or one of the things I was going to talk about, when the video that it had wasn't playing, so I had to go and get a whole new bloody thing on it. So, the reason I was late today. Come on. Okay, sorry. I'm seeing with someone else. All right. Anyways, so here we are. So what we're gonna talk about today is gonna talk about some Steven Crowder, is the CEO of Louder with Crowder, G. Morgan Jr., also known as Gerald Day on the show. He speaked out. I guess there's apparently some sort of like rumors about Crowder and his employees or something like that. I had no idea about it till like yesterday when they were doing a show on it. I only got to see the stuff they put on Rumble because I don't subscribe to Mug Club anymore. I stopped I really fell out of watching Crowder after the whole Dave Landau incident. But yeah. But anyways, so apparently there's been like a bunch of rumors going on about with Crowder, and I honestly have no idea about. Apparently, it has to do with like some employees or something. I really had no idea what they were talking about. I thought he was going to address like his divorce and whatnot, but turned out to be wrong. So we're gonna look at because Gerald G. Morgan Jr. He tweeted and he hold on. He tweeted, X did, whatever it's fucking called on X now. But he tweeted on God damn. He tweeted on X and went through, I guess, the so-called rumors and employee thing or whatever. So we're gonna read through that. I have no idea what they're talking about. I don't know. Some employees decided to leave, and then, or there was rumors going on about it. So I have no idea. After that, we're gonna talk about a district attorney in Georgia who files and then retracts the felony charges against Trump. Now, that may not be odd in itself, but she did it before the grand jury even votes. So she went over there and she presented all this evidence and whatnot. And then prior to the grand jury voting, yes, we'll indict, we won't indict, she retracts the felony charges, which is interesting. Or felony charge, I don't know. And then I guess the jury foreperson on that grand jury did an interview, and so we'll look at that. That was the clip I was talking about. I guess she did an interview. We were gonna watch it through the clip. Now I got to be on CNN, the most biased news source in all the world. We got to be on there, and then we'll look and maybe we'll watch the video that they have there. I have no idea what she's gonna say. Yeah. And then I feel like I'm missing something. Hold on. It's on 101. Hold on. I feel like I'm supposed to have one other thing I'm supposed to talk about, but I don't have it. Let's see. Oh, okay. All right. I guess I'm fine. So might be a short show today. See how fast I get into it. That's not what I wanted. There we go. All right. So after that, we're going to look at the bigotry of low expectations. I guess And what I mean by that is, a black pilot goes on TikTok, does her TikTok, and we'll just see. And apparently, it's a big thing that a black female can fly a plane. I didn't think that would be such a big deal, honestly. It's not like black people aren't incapable of doing the same thing as everyone else. So I don't know. And then finally, we're gonna go to California, California, and a preschool teacher wants to talk sex with the kids. Shocking. And the way he fucking looks, it's not surprising. But yeah. All right, so let's get into it today. My daughter's up. I can hear her. She's running around. She has her father's feet. I swear to God. All right, so here is the tweet. Gerald A at G Morgan Jr. So if you like the Louder Crowder or like what they say or whatever, I still follow Crowder on X. I follow Gerald A. I really enjoyed their show, but when Dave Landau came out on his I forgot who he did the interview with. He did an interview and he talked he talked about leaving Crowder, and I really am sad about that because I thought Crowder or not Crowder, but Landau was really great on that show. It really helped. He's hilarious. I find the man hilarious. He was really great for the show. And then he talked about what was happening going on, how he couldn't advertise his show as anymore unless he did with Steven. And I realized how, and I knew that was true because he was coming near, where I live, not really near, a couple hours, but, and he wasn't advertising on Crowder Show. And I thought that was really strange. And he was saying how he couldn't do it unless he was doing it with Steven. It was just a whole thing. And, and then he got a contract from Louder to Crowder, and it was a bullshit contract. To be honest, it was a really bullshit contract. I can't remember the details. It was just something about he would have to move his family to Texas. And if he needed to what was it? He had to be at the studio on Fridays, unless even if they don't end up doing anything. It was just a bunch of bullshit. And I was like, and this came after the whole Daily Wire Crowder thing. And, I was with Crowder on that because that was a bullshit contract. But then he's giving his own employees a bullshit contract. So I left a bad taste in my mouth. And so I stopped watching Crowder after that. I unsubscribed to Mug Club. I don't wish any ill will or anything like that. I just don't watch it. So yesterday was the first time I watched it, and I didn't end up having to. Didn't realize that they actually just now do their an hour on Mug Club and do the actual hour on Mug Club, which is I think is just their locals page. But yeah, I'm not paying $90 just to watch one show for an hour. But yeah, so that's the whole history with me and Crowder. It's kind of sucks because I did enjoy watching him, but it just that whole thing left a bad taste in my mouth, and I was like, all right, well, but obviously they do well and people like him, and they should. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. His Changed My Mind segments, if he puts those on YouTube, I'll definitely watch them because those were always good. But anyways, here we go. We'll take a look at this, see what they have to say. Let's go. All right, he says, here we go. Louder with Crowder has been the target of repeated attacks over the past few months. I gave our employees specific instructions not to comment, but that is all changing now. You want to come after us? Fine. Happy to answer the questions and set the record straight. We are imperfect people, all of us, but we are committed to serving our audience. These attacks are coordinated to try and stop us from doing that. They will not succeed. I will address items in the hit pieces masqueraded as journalism that have been released over the last few months. Let's start with the NDAs and staffers, quote, quote leaving unquote. So yeah, apparently there's been some sort of, I don't know, hit pieces going on. It's kind of funny. I have no idea. I don't know. I thought when I saw that video addressing all the rumors, I thought he was going to talk about his divorce, honestly. But yeah, so here we go. All right, July 20th, I received an email asking for comment on an upcoming article regarding Steven Crowder and Louder with Crowder. I did not respond. July 21st, I called an all staff meeting on for 2 p.m. to discuss the show coming back, new formats for the segments, some big wins, Alex Jones, and the reasons we all needed to respect the need for privacy and not disclose private information to former employees or journalists. Mind you, we aren't trying to silence a whistleblower. It was obvious that these people just didn't like Steven for whatever reason, and were trying to bring him down any way they could, just like the left, just like big tech. The meeting was also leaked to the press as an emergency staff meeting, even after I told the staff about safety concerns that previous leaks had raised for Steven and his family. We immediately began a process to determine the source of the leak and find out if it was done by accident or in malice. If it was an accidental leak, there would be no consequences. But if by 2 p.m. they had not come forward, I was going to assume it was done in malice and take the proper precautions to protect everyone in the company. No one came forward. Someone sitting in the room with me who was supposed to have my back decided to put me and my family at risk by leaking information from that meeting. What kind of person does that? July 26th, I had our lawyers update the NDA to include more specific penalties for violating the non-disclosure. I asked everyone to sign them and return them to me by close of business on the 28th. We interviewed a few employees that we suspected may have violated their agreements and subsequently suspended 2 of them. We wanted to give our time to do further investigation, but we thought it wasn't going to be possible to keep either employees. One employee met me at the door and resigned without signing the NDA. I tried to reach out to this employee that day to discuss our severance package and was told that the only way they wanted to communicate was via email. This sounded strange to me since we had always had a good working relationship. That evening, one of the suspended employees resigned, also without signing the NDA. I reached out to talk with this employee as well and was told that any correspondence could only be made by email. It's very interesting that the 2 employees resign without signing the NDAs and require any communications to come via email. 2 employees were let go, one that was suspended and didn't have anything to do with the leaks to our knowledge, and one additional person. Free speech is paramount. It must exist. Otherwise, we're all doomed. The ability to tell lies about this company, but put employees and their families in danger and leak private proprietary information is not free speech. It's a breach of contract. These aren't whistleblowers. There are people using to cover Steven's divorce to try and take him down. Okay. So here's the various comments. Just looking. Seeing if they say anything. Yeah. So, anyways, there it is. That's the drama, I guess. I don't know what hit pieces are going on. Maybe I could just Google them real quick. Mm. Okay. Yeah, I don't see much on it. I'm so far removed, I just don't care anymore. I don't know. And it seems like, it just seems like he wanted to protect, you know, his company. Okay. What it seems to me is he, like, there were some leaks going on. He's like, all right, look, I don't want these leaks going on. I am going to, send out NDAs people can willingly sign or not. And obviously, if they hadn't signed, they'd just be fired. So always goes, I'm going to send them out. Or G. Morgan Jr. says, I'm going to have these really sick these leaks. I'll punish people if they, leak after signing an NDA. And for people that, don't understand, an NDA is a non-disclosure agreement. It's a voluntary thing that you sign, and you have to abide by that. And if you don't abide by that, you can, you'll get sued by the whoever has you sign it, and more than likely you're gonna lose, because it's something you willingly signed, and you're gonna, it's what it is. So, and there's nothing wrong with a company having employees sign an NDA. It's completely voluntary, and if you don't want to sign an NDA, you don't have to work at that company. There's nothing wrong with you not wanting to sign an NDA and all that. And if you don't want to, it's a voluntary thing. If you don't want to sign it, you don't have to sign it. You just won't be employed at that company, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, I don't know why this is such a big deal. Honestly, like, it really doesn't seem like a big deal to me. Okay, he had his employees sign an NDA. Apparently, hold on. According to the U.S. or the New York Post, which is almost is as biased as well, extremely biased. There we go. Apparently, it says Crowder sends NDA, demands $100K after toxic behavior. Sends insane NDAs demanding $100K after toxic behavior. Okay, so apparently he bullies and he does drugs and does sexual misconduct. Okay. And again, these are voluntary agreements that you don't have to sign. And if you don't sign, you don't have to work for. Yeah. Yeah, like none of this is really that important. Like I get there's some employee, like some ex-employees saying like, oh, he, sexually harassed us or sexual misconduct because he placed like sack tap with the employees, which is odd. Yes, it's odd, but we're listening to one person. Like, we don't, like, come on, one person saying this. Like, I don't know. It's odd. It's very odd behavior. And if you have proof, fucking sue the guy. Like, he's worth millions. He's already going through a divorce. Sue the guy. Like, I'm very skeptical. And again, like, again, I used to watch Louder with Crowder. I was a big fan. I got my mug club. I have a shirt, a bunch of shit. Well, not really a bunch, but I had a few things. I don't anymore. I follow them on Twitter. That's it, and everything. So that's my biases right there. Um, let's see. I was on a roll with something. Oh, but yeah. So everything. But I'm very skeptical when it comes to things like these because it's always like what they say, not what the other person says is saying or anything like that. Like, I don't know, maybe since then he's admitted to sack tapping his employees. But if again, if this is a thing going on, then sue the guy. Like we have a legal remedy for this. Sue the guy. The dude's worth like millions upon millions of dollars. So you can get a buttload of money from him, but instead you're going to the New York Post and talking to them there. It's the same. Look, if you have proof, go sue him. It's to me, it's the same thing when when a chick goes and is claiming sexual assault, rape on a person, like the Andrew Tate thing. But instead of going to court and suing him legally, they're just and they go to do an interview and everything like that, and they're like, oh well, I didn't feel safe or comfortable going to the police or anything, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you're comfortable enough to go to go do a live appearance and go and speak about it, but you weren't comfortable enough to do it okay, let me rephrase that. So you're uncomfortable, or you're uncomfortable with going to the police that may be able to do something about this and protect other people in the future. But you're very comfortable to go on and because you don't want to be, and also because you don't want to be portrayed as a victim by the police or anything like that. But then you go to like a media outlet, even if it's a year, 10 years, whatever later, you're so comfortable to go to a media outlet and talk to them and have that all broadcast, but you never once went to the cops and there was no cops report. That's the same thing with this whole sack tap and abuse, bully, whatever, and whatever. So, all right, the basis I get from all of this is there are leaks. Obviously, the owners and CEOs of the company didn't like that. They sent down voluntary NDAs to sign. And if you didn't want to sign them, you didn't have to. Now, would you be employed? Absolutely not. But, you still didn't have to sign them. And one person's claiming, oh, they were intimidated to do this. Well, if you're intimidated to sign something that you don't want to sign, then you're a fucking loser. If you're not comfortable with signing something, don't fucking sign it. Like, what the hell are you doing? Anyways, that's all on that. I mean, whatever. It's like I said, I don't like Crowder anymore, but it sounds just really suspicious to me. All right. So, breaking. Georgia DA files and retracts felony charges against Trump before grand jury even votes. Documents dated August 14 reveal 13 charges against Trump, 12 of which are felonies. One is listed as a serious felony. Wait, hold on. So there's 12 felonies that were filed, that were charged initially. And then the DA retracts the felony charges. So there's one charge in this whole indictment. All right, let's see how accurate that is. I don't know. It sounds kind of odd to me. Scroll. On Monday, On Monday, a document outlining charges against 2024 GOP frontrunner Donald Trump by Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis' office was briefly posted online and deleted without explanation. The grand jury in charge of the case has yet to vote on the matter. The document, dated August 14, obtained by Reuters, reveals 13 charges against Trump, 12 of which are felonies. One is listed as a serious felony. Let's see if we can look at it. Hold on. I can't fucking see this. What kind of fucking shit is this? I can't even read it. Oh, okay, that's easier. All right, so I'm not even showing you, sorry. Okay, there we go. So one is violation of. Okay, I can't see there. So violation of the Georgia RICO, Racketeers, Influence, and Corruption Organization Act. That's a serious felony. Solicitation of a violation of oath by public officer. That's a felony. Conspiracy to impersonate a public officer. That's a felony. Conspiracy to commit forgery in the first degree. That's a felony. Conspiracy to commit false statements and writings. That's a felony. Conspiracy to commit filings false documents. That's a felony. Conspiracy to commit forgery in the first degree. That's a felony again. So did the same thing. Conspiracy to commit false statements and writings. That's a felony. Filing false documents. That's a felony. Solicitation of violation of oath by public officer. That's a felony. False statements and writings. That's a felony apparently. Solicitation of violation of of oath by public officer. That's a felony. False statements and writings. Well, those are all felonies. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So these are all felonies. So I don't understand. So whatever they said, whoever. Share the screen. So those are all felonies. Those are 13 felonies. It's like counted wrong, which I may have. Hold on. I'm a moron, so let me just double check. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, those are all felonies. One's just a serious felony. So apparently they're not as unserious. So then, well, this report is inaccurate because they say this says reveals 13 charges against Trump, 12 of which are felonies. They're all felonies. Oh, okay. I think I understand. So they're saying that 12 are regular felonies and then one is a serious felony, which is the 13th. Okay. I'm a moron. Got it. All right. Just read through all those. So, an investigation into efforts by Trump to pressure Governor Brian Kemp and Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger to overturn the election results, as well as plan to use an alternative state of electors, has been going on since 2021. The DA also is looking to seek indictment against at least 12 other people, alleging that Trump and allies coordinated attempts to unlawfully alter the outcome of the 2020 election in Georgia. Willis has already subpoenaed former Lieutenant Governor Duncan, former Georgia Democratic State Senator Jen Jordan, and independent journalist George Chidi as witnesses in the case. Wait, that's it? So this is what happens when you look at it. So all this is they were posted online and then they were removed before. Yeah, so they were posted and then deleted. That's not retracting. Man, this is not as big a story as I thought it was going to be. Hold on. So clickbait. Clickbait. This journalist got me. This is why I should read these, but I always just do go by the headline and then we'll look into it. I thought it was going to be a bigger story. It's not that big of a story. All right. Now, before we get going, I got one thing I got to do first. One thing. Now, what do I got to do? I got to do something very important. It's very, very important. That's right, people. It is coffee brand coffee time. We're going to talk about coffee brand coffee. As you guys may know by now, I am affiliate of Coffee Brand Coffee. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means I'm going to advertise for you for it. And, if enough people use my referral link, maybe they'll pay me. It's basically what it means, honestly. Hold on, doing something. Anyways. All right, I gotta do something really quick. Okay. All right. Sorry. Anyways, yes, it's coffee brand coffee time. So this is coffee brand coffee. Now, why am I, advertising coffee brand coffee? Well, because it's delicious. They could have, they roast per order, meaning they don't roast until you order it. So you get as fresh as you could possibly get without doing your own or going to a store that does that as well. They have classic light, medium, and dark roasts. Apparently, Ethiopian light roast, which is apparently different. They got decaf and double caffeinated coffee, so you can really be caffeinated. Bourbon flavored. Strawberries, s'mores, and my personal favorite is French toast flavored. Delicious. That is my personal favorite type of coffee. Dark roast is good as well, but it just doesn't sell coffee. It also sells tea. We got some, for those people that are sophisticated, like to drink tea, and are, Well, Coffee Brand Coffee has that for you as well. Got some English breakfast organic, gunpowder green tea, oolong, chamomile, apple pie for the American Englishman. So, variety of different teas you got. But wait, there's more. They have K-Cups too. So that's why I don't really mention the K-Cups, mostly because I keep forgetting. They got also cocoa, 3 different types of cocoa, velvety hot chocolate, caramel, and marshmallow. Fall is coming, and you could always go for some delicious cocoa. cold brews, of course, blueberry cobbler, Ethiopian for them cold brews, Colombian are some of the few. And then, they have also premium snacks. You got saltwater taffy and nuts. You like some nuts in your face, then Coffee Brand Coffee's, is an option. I haven't had their nuts, so I don't know. Although I might try those roasted salt nuts cashews. Been missing my cashews lately. But anyways, yeah, this is Coffee Brand Coffee. And they got gear and stuff, grinders, hats, all that stuff. Like I said, they only roast to order. So, it's as fresh as you can get without going to the actual store, that does that themselves. So it's as fresh as you could possibly get. I mean, coffee loses its flavor 7 to 10 days after roasting. So, it's as fresh as you could possibly get. This is what I'm currently drinking is my French toast coffee. And the reviews are good. There's 4,000 verified customer reviews. Most of them are 5 out of 5. So, that's some good what's the word I'm looking for? It's good that's great. I was gonna say something I can't fucking remember. Let's see. But yeah, if you're interested in Coffee Brand Coffee, well then, or if you are part of Coffee Brand Coffee, you can use coupon code GHOST. You can use my referral link right up there. Beautiful, great. Use that referral link and it will give you 5% off. If you do a subscription, then you'll get 10% off. So there's no real point to you using the coupon code. But please, even if you do use a subscription, use my referral link right there. It's in my description as well. So for an easy, copy and paste or no, for this one, it's a click, obviously. You just click on it. But for at least the coupon code, it's an easy copy and paste if you want to use that. But yeah, just make sure you use that referral link, even if you decide to do a subscription, which gives you 10% off. If you use my coupon code or referral link, then you get 5% off. All right. There you go. So this here is one of the random people chosen to investigate Trump goes public. So this here is the fourth person, and she decided to give an interview, and apparently she did so before, like, the indictment was even handed down. I don't know, or I don't fucking know how this works. So let's see. I'm gonna click on this video. I was gonna watch another different video of her. Apparently, it wasn't gonna play for whatever reason. So let's see.
Donald Trump put out a statement last week about the partial report that the judge did release, the pages that he did. And the way that he described it is he said that, yet your report means total exoneration for him, is how he put it in his statement. What's your reaction to that, Emily?
I did see that today, which was fascinating. I'm not positive he read the right document, but I will say that if what he was talking about was our statement where we indicated that there was no evidence of widespread fraud or widespread vote fraud in the Georgia 2020 election, that might have been what he meant. Other than that, I'm not positive what he meant by that. I'd be interested to know.
I'm sure we will hear more from him after it all comes out. The portion of the final report that has been released, there's another portion. That part that you just talked about was of great interest to a lot of us, but also the other portion that obviously demands a lot of attention is also the portion, and I'll read this for everyone, where you all wrote, a majority of the grand jury believes that perjury may have been committed by one or more witnesses testifying before it. Is perjury the crime that you all believed was the main crime you all believe was committed?
I wouldn't say that. I would say that it ended up included there because it was less pointed of a suggestion than some of the other things we may have written in the parts of the report the judge chose to keep confidential.
Like
I would say that
less specific to a
fine that there's a difference between the crimes we were called to investigate and crimes that were committed in the room.
How would you describe the strength of the evidence that you all heard at least one call?
Okay, so I just want to make something abundantly clear. When it comes to these grand juries, the only evidence that they get is the prosecution side. They don't get the defense side. So it's all the, what a prosecutor does is present all the evidence that is favorable to them. They don't present any evidence that's unfavorable to them. So it's very hard for you to kind of want to judge anything based on what someone says on a grand jury thing.
That Donald Trump was on during this period. This
Yes.
is the infamous call that the whole world has heard as it was released when
Yes.
he was speaking to Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. But in terms of just calls and recordings of calls, are there others of those? Didn't want to testify, but they were forced to. They were told by the judge that they needed to, like Mark Meadows, Donald Trump's former chief of staff. What stood out to you from his testimony?
Mr. Meadows didn't share very much at all. And was not
This chick's like facial expressions, her voice really annoys the shit out of me. I'm skipping through this because I just don't want to listen to her.
very willing to speak on much of anything.
Shocking.
He asserted his rights under the Fifth Amendment and under executive privilege, which he absolutely had the right to do. And that was pretty much that.
This wasn't just a few days of jury duty. I've been kind of thinking about this.
She's trying to like imply that he's like there's something wrong with that. At least that's what I'm getting from her. Is she's trying to imply that he used his Fifth Amendment and executive privilege, and those are his rights. And you can't really assert someone's guilt just because they want to use the Fifth Amendment.
This as we were going to speak today. I mean,
This has been fascinating to get this peek into the world of like politics, and I think that's the opposite. I think that by choosing to have a grand jury, by choosing to impanel regular people, they very specifically chose,
after everything that you've
strongly to them trying to avoid bias in any way and trying to avoid politics.
Yeah, you seem really, unbiased in this at all, and totally.
After everything that you've seen, what would your reaction be if
This was too much information, too much of my time.
Hold on.
Too much, nothing happens.
the DA decides against bringing any charges after what you've seen?
I will be sad if nothing happens, Tix.
After everything that you've seen, what would your reaction be if the DA decides against bringing any charges after what you've seen?
I will be sad if nothing happens. Like that's about my only request there is for something to happen. I don't necessarily know.
I mean, to be fair, if they decide not to charge him, that's something that's happening. It's just not something you like. And look, just because you want something to happen doesn't mean it should happen. Just because it might end up being a giant waste of your time doesn't mean that this guy should be indicted just because you were inconvenienced. This person's dumb.
Know what it is. I'm not the legal expert. I'm not the judge. I'm not the lawyers, but I will be frustrated if nothing happens. This was too much information, too much of my time, too much of everyone.
Oh, your time is very valuable. What about the time of someone who's getting unfairly indicted over this?
One's time, too much of their time, too much argument in court about getting people to appear before us. There was just too much for this to just be, oh, okay, we're good, bye.
And if it was
But if that's the right decision, why does it fucking matter?
just a perjury charge or perjury charges, would that be acceptable to you?
That's fine.
Bullshit. She wants. again, all right. So just again, grand jury. Oh, let me make myself bigger. I'm a very important person, so I need my bigger face. It's just so everyone knows. Like I said, a grand jury, all the evidence that gets presented in a grand jury is all favorable to the prosecution. You don't get, it's not like a regular trial where you get to hear both sides. You only get to hear really the side of the prosecution, which they're going to call their best witnesses, their best they're going to call their best people, the blah blah blah. They're just going to call everyone that is favorable for an indictment. That's what a grand jury trial is. So to try and be like, oh, there's a lot of information, blah blah. Yeah, you're only getting half of the damn story. So of course, if let's say if you get charged with something and all you see is all the stuff that's stacked against you, then yeah, like, okay, for example, Kyle Rittenhouse. I always mention Kyle Rittenhouse because it's just a perfect thing. Now, Kyle Rittenhouse, I'm willing to bet all the grand jury saw was, he was out there with a gun. He's 17. And then he goes and shoots a guy. He ends up shooting a guy who's, that didn't attack and that threw a bag that didn't have anything in it. Or so they say. You get the pictures of the bag with nothing in it. He shoots someone. Then he shoots 2 other people, injures one, and all that. So that's all they ended up seeing. Well, let's say that's all they ended up seeing. But basically all that crap you saw on the prosecution side, trying to get like, and you get testimony of you get the testimony of the carport guys and all that, and they don't get pushed very much because it's prosecution and all that. So you get all that testimony and everything like that. All right, cool. Well then, yeah, indict the guy. Definitely, he needs to be put in jail. I'm seeing all this evidence. Boom. Then you go to the trial. Well, you get the carport guys to go on the stand, and then they get cross-examined, and then everything they say, like if you listen to them, those fuckers are lying. And it comes out in the cross-examination. Okay. Then you get, the medical examiner evidence that says, hey, he got shot and there's stippling on his hand. And the only way for him to get stippling on that hand is if he was reaching for the barrel. Okay. All right. And then you get the evidence of Gage Groschkowitz, who admits on stand, hey, Kyle only shot at me after I pointed my gun at him. And so all this other evidence turns out, and it's decided, hey, Kyle Rittenhouse not guilty. So grand jury, indictments and all that, they're not really worth that much, in my opinion, because all you get is one side. You don't get any of the cross-examination of these witnesses, which, good cross-examination could actually, help show that, hey, this person's lying, or this person's story doesn't make sense, or anything like this. You think a prosecution is going to put someone on the stand and a grand jury trying to indict someone and go real hard at them? No. So grand juries, they sound important. They're not that important. They're important to indict someone or get charges on someone, but they're not that important because, again, you only see one side. I probably didn't make any sense on my tangent, but, that's the best I could have done it. And again, there's Like, okay, sorry. I know I went on a random tangent there, but that's I don't. You shouldn't give any weight to grand juries because, like I said, it's all one sided. It's really just a tool to give a DA the excuse to charge someone at this, in my opinion. So, I mean, don't hold any water. Wait till the trial, which won't be televised, of course. I think all of this should be televised. Like, grand juries are never really televised, I don't think. But I think all these trials, all Trump's federal and state trials, all of it should be televised. Will it? Probably not. I guarantee it won't. If I was a federal judge, all my trials would be televised. I wouldn't give a shit. All right. So there you go. So here we are. Hopefully I made some sense back there. Mainly at that point, I was just saying shit, talking my talk. All right. So there's a black girl pilot on TikTok. Her TikTok shows her actively flying planes all, by herself. She should have 1 million followers, but this type of stuff goes unnoticed. So she doesn't. This is major. We up. Now, this is what I mean. Okay, hold on. Let's just watch the video. It's so short.
Gotta scan for traffic.
That's 950 Kilo, 5 miles east of the field, inbound for runway 11 will be behind 140 November Delta.
He's talking to me.
Merritt Island traffic, Piper 140 November Delta is maneuvering around the blue water. Takes into the downwind for runway 11 Merritt Island.
Talking
Tower.
myself through procedures.
10. First flap. Merritt Island traffic, Piper 140 November.
Okay, so there we go. That's the video. And this is what I mean by bigotry of low expectations, a soft bigotry or whatever it's called, of low expectations. This chick's just a pilot. She's not doing anything spectacular. She's not a Blue Angel, whatever. She's a regular pilot. Why should she have millions of followers? Because she just flies a plane. Black people are capable of flying planes. They can't swim, but they can fly planes. Oh, it's a joke. It's a joke. But yeah, this isn't very extraordinary. Yeah, of course a black person can fly a plane. They're as capable as anyone else to do fucking anything. This is so you do I don't know if this this SoCal girl Tamara is. Let's see. Okay, so she doesn't look like she's not the pilot. Okay, so there we go. Another thing, gotta scan for traffic. Yeah. I'm sure it's really hard to look and try and find a plane while you're in the air when there's not a lot of fucking But this is so sad, honestly, because they're like, oh, it's amazing she's flying a plane. Well, of course. What? Is there something incapable, that prevents black people from flying a plane? I don't think so. I think they're just as capable as anyone else to fly a damn plane. So this excitement is kind of, it's just, and it's funny because the chick's is black as well. The one who tweeted this is black and everything. It's okay. It's okay. She can do what other people can do. That's really awesome. The fuck is this bullshit? Just made me laugh. Ooh, she can fly. Well, yeah, why wouldn't she be able to fly? Why can't she fly? Is there something that makes black people incapable of flying? Because I've never heard of it. All right, last thing. Apparently, this is all I needed to talk, because apparently I ran through this stuff, but I didn't do it too quick. Maybe I'm just getting better at talking a lot. That could be it. Maybe my coffee brand coffee is giving me the fuel I need to give you guys good content. All right. California preschool teacher blasts innocence, says toddlers should be taught queerness, sexuality in classroom. All right. So let's just headline. All right. A preschool teacher. Preschool. Look, I don't even think kids should, I don't think schools should be talking to kids about any of this crap. But if I were to succeed any of that position, I probably go to maybe 10 and up, 10, 11. That's kind of like close to, the puberty-ish. So on the bottom of the list would be preschoolers who don't give a shit about any of this crap. You know what a preschooler is? It's a toddler, okay? Like 2 and up, I think. You know what they're interested in? Dinosaurs. They're interested in dinosaurs. They're interested in learning their voice. Trust me, I have a 2-year-old. She is very interested in her voice. All she does all day is scream. Not like upsetness, but she just screams randomly. She's adorable and hilarious. They're exploring their world. They're trying to like understand what they're doing and what, how they fit in and everything. The last thing they need is sexuality, which, especially when they're like toddlers and stuff like preschool. All right, they're like what, 3 or 4. They're 3 or 4. Like they don't care. They like blocks. They like stacking stuff. If you make funny noises, they like that as well. Like, why do you want to teach them queerness and sexuality? They're not going to understand what the fuck. You know what preschool is? It's a daycare. That's what it is, daycare. So what that means is make sure that, they don't hurt each other. Make sure they take the naps and make sure to feed them and change their diaper. That's what preschool is. Like, what the fuck? All right, let's go. Hold on. Is there a picture of this? Okay, there we go. All right, so around 3 to 4 month old infants show a sex and gender preference in who they look at, the teacher said. What? This guy has no idea what he's talking about. I can already tell. A preschool teacher repeatedly attacked the idea of childhood innocence and claimed the topics considered inappropriate can be shared with children, according to his scrubbed social media account. Why did he scrub his social media account? And everyone, before we get into this is why you should get out of school. Like, you should start private school, homeschool. You can't afford private school, homeschool. You should get out of public school, because these are the people that are in the public school. These are the people teaching your kids. These are the people you're giving your kids to for 8 hours a day. Just think about that. For 8 hours a day, these type of people are the ones that are with your children, molding your children. Do you really trust them? All right. The California teacher, Willie Villapado. God damn, that daughter of mine has her father's feet. Has said the idea of childhood innocence is a myth, claimed topics deemed inappropriate, such as queerness, can be suitable for pre-K age group. The district has repeatedly ignored Fox News' request for comment. The Raleigh Unified School District were asked months ago whether Villapando was currently employed there and working with its school children. They did not respond. However, after a tip received from a concerned source, it can now be confirmed the teacher works at Trap Preschool. There's a common mythology that children live in their world of pure innocence, and that by introducing them or exposing them to the real world, adults are somehow shattering this illusion for them. Therefore, there is a banning of topics and issues that children should not be exposed to, as if they're not experiencing them already. This guy looks like a pedo. Look, I try to not to say that a lot. This fucker looks like a pedo. He looks like it. Like, look, all right, in my opinion, if you want to teach any kid that's not your own about sex at all, probably a pedo. Like, there's one thing when you're told to, like back in school, it was mandatory we get sex ed. That's one thing. You're required by your job to teach sex ed. You don't want to do it. But these fuckers that want to teach kids that aren't theirs sex stuff, willing to bet they're pedos. I would be willing to bet that they are, and I'm willing to bet that what was I gonna say? So I'm willing to bet they're pedos. I don't fucking know. I was gonna say something after that, but apparently I lost my train of thought. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm willing to bet they're pedos, and I'm willing to bet I'm 95% correct. Like, and look, I look. Obviously, this is being more satirical and everything like that, but not really. But like, why do you want to teach kids sex that's not their own, especially a toddler that doesn't give a shit about any of this crap? Like, why? Why? Unless you want to do something. Like, I don't understand this. And again, I could be 100% wrong, and I'm willing to, but it's just weird to me. It's very weird to me that someone would want to talk to someone's kid about sex when they're not even close to puberty, when they actually start giving a shit about that stuff. Or like a semi amount of shit about that stuff. Like, I don't know. Is this guy like a psychologist or some shit like that? Because I doubt it. Villapedo. I didn't mean to do that, honestly, but I'm going to go with it now. Described himself as an expert at developing a child's gender identity, according to a Scrub website reviewed by Fox News. And if he was so passionate about this stuff and believed he was 100% sure about it, why is he scrubbing his social media and his website? Shocking. He stated on his website, while I absolutely love working with young children, yeah, I bet you do, my passion really lies in teaching others why we do the things we do and advocate on behalf of young children and their families. My research and interest areas is in gender development in young children and the impact that early educators have on that development. I 100% agree that early educators have an impact on that stuff. That's why you shouldn't have your kids in public school. Villapedo also answered a question whether speaking to preschool kids about gender and sexuality is inappropriate. Absolutely not, Villapedo said, defending the topics. Infants begin making gender associations by the time they are 10 months old. By the time they are 3, most children can be labeled what gender they believe they identify with. No, they're labeled by the gender that they are, not by what they believe they identify with. If you have a dick, you're a dude. If you don't have one, you're a chick. Now, are the rare exceptions, the in-betweeners, the hermaphrodites? Yes, absolutely. There are those people. But guess what? There's generally one or more. There's at least a pronounced feature. Micropenis, big mammograms, a uterus, something like that. There's some prominent features there, which can kind of lead you in what direction their body is generally headed to. Okay? So this like, and that's like less than 1% of the population. So let's not even get into that. The majority of people either have a penis or a vagina. There's that, kid on the video like, boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. It's exactly what it is. And by 4, they can tell you what that gender means for what they can do or cannot do. No, look, they don't know any of this shit. What they know, okay? What they know, what children, 10 months, 3, 4, whatever, what they know is what an adult that they view as an authority figure tell them. That's what they know at that age. They don't know shit about this. They only know what an authority figure tells them. That's because kids are malleable. You can teach them to think anything. All right, kids are dumb, and it's not their fault. They're young. They don't have a developed brain. They don't really have much critical thinking because they're kids. Leave kids alone, you pedo freak. Yes, I'm gonna keep calling him that because it's just that. Look, this guy, like, oh, okay, whatever. If it comes out like he's on Catch the Predator, I wouldn't be surprised. Let's be honest. With race, when a child is 3 months old, they begin to visually discriminate based on race, favoring those that are the same race as their caregivers. Children as young as 2 begin to use race to reason about people's behaviors. No, they don't. Children as young as 2 have been taught to use race to reason about people's behaviors. That's what they're taught. They don't do this without someone guiding them, showing them, whatever. Like none of this he's saying is children just sitting there thinking, oh, this is no, it's something that someone has shown them or taught them. Authority figure in their life has taught them this. This isn't their own thinking. Maybe I'm missing the point of this at all, but that's what I'm getting for this. He concluded, children experience gender and race every day. They need and deserve to see themselves, to feel seen, and then to see others not like them. Another occasion, he said on Instagram, I'm tired of childhood innocence arguments. Stop blaming a phenomenon that doesn't exist. He went on to attack the idea that children shouldn't be exposed to sexuality, claiming that such a very white Christian upper class cisgender and heterocentric. Okay. Now I'm talking about queerness in the classroom. It's not letting children be children. It's telling those people they do not deserve to exist. He said in 2021, kids are never too young. Yes, they are. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. The pedo, for sure. Let's work to deconstruct some of our own biases. Adults incorrectly link discussions on sexuality and gender as equated to discussion about sex, childhood educators said. How about just don't talk about kids at all? This is hilarious. Okay, it's not hilarious. Sorry. But under all this crap, there's this little link right here. Former trans kid shares agonies of side effects from mutilating medical transitioning. I've gotten no help. Okay, so let me rephrase that. This is terrible. This is horrible. The fact that this, poor kid has to go through all this, all right, just because some adult in their life, wanted to get some brownie points with society. This is horrible. What's funny is the fact that this dude's talking all this, and Fox News decides to link this. That's what's funny. All right, he said in November 2022 podcast of Rainbow Parenting that we have so many people who tell us that this is inappropriate stuff. We can't talk about it. Yeah, it is. And so I'm like, hey, no, we can talk about this. No, you can't. Let me phrase that. No, well, no, you shouldn't. But you definitely can't if you're, not their parent. If the parents want to teach us, that's the parents' decision. But you don't get to make that unilateral decision to teach your, kids under your care this crap without consent, without parents' consent. The teacher went on to say that if parents didn't have the conversation with kids, it was up to the teacher to foster classroom environments that may make others comfortable. No. If the parents didn't have conversation with the kids about this stuff, then it's not your job to. Children who are exposed to environments with more fluid understanding of gender are more likely to understand that gender is fluid. No, they're more likely to be convinced that gender is fluid. He added that educators should talk to little kids about queerness, even if parents have avoided the topic. No, you should not. You don't get to talk about any of that crap with someone who is not your kid. If you want to talk about this with a kid, have your own fucking kid. But no one's going to mate with your fat pedo ass, so that's why you want to talk to other people's kids. Parents haven't already had conversation about these things with the kids, that kids don't know that they might be intersex. Intersex is not something they may be. It's something that they are, meaning they were literally, and again, less than 1%. It's a very small percentage are intersex. But yeah, intersex is something that they are. Okay, meaning literally they're bored with both everything. But there's always a more prominent feature. Micro penis and large clitoris. Those that, example. That they might be agender, non-binary. No. And not really children. And really, children have a right to see themselves in our classrooms. It's not okay just to forget about them or push them out just because it makes us uncomfortable or may make others uncomfortable. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's you're fucking a weirdo if you want to talk to the kids about this stuff because they're not your fucking kids. According to Villa-Pedo, talking to children about gender includes telling them that it is a social contract. It's not. It's literally something that you are. This goes alongside teaching children that asking others for their pronouns. Ha! No. Look. Have you ever in your life, honestly, even after all this, shit started, this gender crap chart, you really ever stopped and asked someone, excuse me, what are your pronouns? And furthermore, have you ever used someone's pronouns while talking to them? No, it's the pronoun. This pronoun crap is a description. Okay. It is a description. It's how someone would identify you just by looking at you. Okay. That's what pronouns are. So if someone says, hey, points to me, it's like he, okay, because I look like a fucking dude. All right. If I worked and hair done, makeup, fake tits, whatever, and looked like a chick, sounded like a chick, they call me she because that's what I'm presenting. And that would be a description of me. It wouldn't be who I am, because I could be just a dude that likes to cross dress, but I look like a chick, so they'll describe me as a she if I'm wearing all that crap. Like, seriously. Yeah, trust me, when I say children get this so much faster than adults give them credit for. No. I totally get that kids pick this up because the kids are very easily malleable. They're very easy to teach. You can teach a kid a lot of things fairly easy because kids have that capacity to do so. Doesn't make it right. Just because they can get it, understand it, not understand it, because there's no understanding this crap. But just because they can be taught to think a way doesn't mean it's the correct way. Finally, I'm almost done with this fucking pedophile motherfucker. This guy was out of breath from taking a picture. The guy's fatter than I am, and I'm pretty fucking fat. Children are exploring and understanding gender associations before they say their first. No, they're not. Around 3 to 4 months, infants show a sex and gender preference in who they look at. At 3-year-olds, a child can label their perceived gender identity. He added, by 4-year-olds, they have a similar. Whatever. This guy is just a fucking freak. Honestly, he's a weirdo. And these are who you're sending your kids to, by the way. There's 1,000 of these people. All these people. Okay. All these people. Yeah, all these people are just leave the kids alone. Hi, teach us. Leave them kids alone. Oh shit, I didn't even bring up my fucking I mean, it doesn't really matter because I don't really get much comments when I do this stuff. At least yet. But it's always nice to have. So I should probably bring out my chat window. Oh, sorry. Oh shit. Someone did actually comment. Okay, it's some weirdo. Oh shit, I need that back. Fuck. But anyways, yeah, it's like oh, I fucking needed that too. God damn it. Fucking see, this person just pissed me off, that's why. So I'm having trouble with this. Person just pissed me off. Like let's see, hold on. I forgot to do my pop-out chat, that's all. But yeah, just leave fucking kids alone. Why is this so hard? Like, if they're not your kids, leave them the fuck alone. It's not your job to teach any kid this crap. None at all. It's not your job. Your job is to teach them some of the things we don't have time to teach them, like history and shit like that, math and all that. That's your job. I want to go back to the days where you asked a teacher what their politics were, and they say, I don't want to talk about it, or I can't tell you about it. We need to go back to that. Okay. I remember in school, if you asked a teacher anything, they would say, oh, I don't, can't talk about that. I'm not allowed to, or I don't want to get into that, et cetera, et cetera. Like we'd ask, a teacher their religion, their politics, all that stuff. They couldn't talk about it. We need to go back to those days. Those days were great because then it was focused on the learning and not focused on some political agenda trying to force shit on kids. That's what we need to go back to. And I think everyone can agree with me on that. That's what we should get back to. Leave the kids alone. Like, why is it so hard? Especially they're not your kids. They're not your if you want to talk to your kids about this stuff and talk about it and get your jollies from all that. Well, not really your jollies, but if you want to talk to kids about sex and shit, have your own fucking kids. Why do people without kids always want to talk to someone else's kids about sex and shit? They're not your fucking kids. Why are you talking about them? Why are you talking to them about this? Like, seriously, it's always those weirdos that don't have kids that want to talk to kids about sex. I don't get it. Well, I get it. Because I've said it a couple 100 times. I get it, but I don't get it. Anyways, that's the end of the show. That's all I got. I've got pissed off. It's the thing that'll get me like triggered, pissed off the most is anything dealing with kids and people wanting to, just talk to kids about shit that they don't need to be talked to about. It's what always pisses me off. All right. Sorry. So that's the end of the show. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow if you're on Rumble. Follow me on X at @officialwghost. Coffee brand coffee. Use coffee brand coffee. Use coupon code GHOST. Here's my referral link. Once again, if you want to get 10% off, remember, if you subscribe, or not 10. It's 5% off for both these. If you subscribe, you get already 10% off. So then the coupon and it won't work. The coupon code won't work. The referral link, still use the referral link because it will give me a credit is all. Yes, I don't do this for free. I do. I also enjoy the coffee brand coffee, so that's also why I do it. But they'll also pay me if I get a good amount of people that want to subscribe to it. So just saying. Follow me on Rumble with Ghost and on YouTube, same names. Follow me on my gaming channel, Gaming with Ghost. Here is the name of that right there. I don't have a unique URL code quite yet. So sad. So Gaming with Ghost. That's on Rumble and Kick. Follow me there. I'm playing the Miles Morales Spider-Man game. It's very boring, honestly. I don't like that game very much. I realized how boring it was. After I'm done with that, I'll probably start playing some Assassin's Creed because the new one's coming out October 5th. So I think I might start with Valhalla and play that through because that was the last game. And then I'll work my way back. If I still have time before the game comes out. Probably not, because I'm not even finished with the Spider-Man game. Although I might just not play Miles Morales at all, but I probably will. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed listening to me to rant off about pedos and all that stuff. And you saw me get tricked by a clickbait article making me think something entirely different than what turned out to be. But that's okay. I'm only human, right? All right. I hope you all have a good day. Peace out and see you later. Make sure you check me out tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. Pacific time. And peace out.